morning. I very briefly want to make a video just about a headline that I saw. I got the emails from The Forward, which is a publication I disagree with 99% of the time, although every now and then there's something nice in there. And someone put a headline that said, now that the conservative movement is allowing live streaming minyanim, how are they different than the reform movement? First of all, conservative temples have been doing live streaming for a long time. 10 years at least, maybe longer. But I didn't read the article, but it shows a tremendous amount of ignorance to say such a thing, because live streaming a minyan is most likely permitted, especially the way it's described. I read the tshuva from the conservative movement, and again, I disagree with the conservative movement a lot of things, but to say that now they're reform and they're actually talking about pretty much merging the reform and conservative movements, which I think might be a boon for the UTJ, the Union of Traditional Judaism, that maybe a lot of the conservatives who don't want to merge with the reform will join UTJ, which is a small movement, but it could see some growth based on this, but I don't know. In many places it's already somewhat unified, the reform and conservative. You'll have certain temples that have, like, maybe Friday night is a reform service and Saturday morning a conservative service, whatever. But the thing is that this issue about the live streaming, particularly they're saying that it's better, a non-Jew should put it on, or it should go on automatically, and you don't have to touch the computer and so forth. Meaning, for a long time, the conservative movement, it wasn't a tshuva from the Rabbinical Assembly. This is actually a tshuva from the Rabbinical Assembly, but like the United Synagogue, it said you could drive to synagogue, right? Which is much worse, because a combustion engine, you might want to argue it's a grama, this or that, but the truth is that you're over on l'savar eish b'chol mashvi seichem. It's mamish a malacha. And you can make, the question is it a grama of this or the rabbanon, or is it a grama mutter and this and that? But this, a computer, a phone, these things didn't exist in ancient times. And Reb Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, he held we're not allowed to use electronics and electricity, but that it's really only al teres minig. It's not an actual Isser, and before him, there were, we know the Chazon Ish holds it's Mamish Aser, because it's a Boina and it's Makam Patish, and there are others who hold like that. But on the other hand, there are those who held it was Mamish, totally mutter to use electricity and electronics. I mean, from Orthodox Jews, whether modern Orthodox, Litvish, Hasidish, Sfardim, 100 years ago, it was very common once when electricity was first invented, and the biggest problem with electricity is going to be with a incandescent light that produces both light and heat, right? But like this, these computers, these phones and things, writing on them, that could be maybe, if it's not at least a derabanan form of ksiva, it's similar enough that I would say, meaning when you're using these things to perform a malacha, that's a problem. But still, it's hard to say it's mamish aser. It's just something that should be avoided, that the Yer Shemaim should avoid. But like, to say that this is the issue, meaning not the women rabbis, and which again, it's not the biggest issue, particularly with what their rabbis are doing. We're not talking about poskim. We're talking about preachers. We're talking about ministers. The bigger issue is, a woman being an Eid Kedushin, a woman being on the Bezdin, these types of things. These are issues, but just to have a title rabbi, it's not to, so, meaning somehow, and it's not the driving to shul and all these other things. Somehow, this was the issue. This was the issue, that to have live streaming synagogue services, that's and again, I wouldn't do it, but on the other hand, if people are not frum, on Rosh Hashanah, to hear the shofar on Rosh Hashanah, if they could hear it live on TV, most likely they're Mekayim Mitzvah, at least according to some opinions. So, what's going on here? That now they've crossed the threshold where they're no longer different. Now they're the same like the Reform. Well, that's silly. And this issue is a non-issue, and they're making mountain out of molehill. Why? Because this is what they want. They want to see the end of the conservative movement. Because they would like to see, because it's a little bit too similar to the Orthodox, and that's really what it's like to see. And eventually, I'm saying, someone was writing in the forward. I don't know. Maybe it was a Frum person writing. I don't know, because they have Frum writers also. I don't know. So thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment. We'll see you later.